Discipleship is being called to walk with Christ and being equipped to live like Christ and being sent by Christ to live and serve others in our churches, in our homes, and in society. Each year in the Upstate New York Synod, we invite pastors to nominate members of their congregations for our Congregational Discipleship Award. And we're seeking people who exemplify what it means to answer the call to discipleship. People who are compelled to serve and share their faith in their communities, in their churches, and throughout the world. This year we received 9 nominations, and a committee of the Synod Council had a very difficult time to select one of those nominees to be recognized at this year's Synod Assembly. But they did their work carefully and prayerfully, and I am happy to introduce to you our recipient's nominator, Pastor John Saraka, who will introduce our award recipient. So, Pastor Saraka.
Good afternoon. I had to make sure that she followed me up here because she's been looking for the escape route this whole morning. It would be an understatement to say that Missy Wilber does not want to be standing before you here today.
I tried to go the other way.
Which is precisely why she is standing here. Because she feels that the attention should never be on her, but on the people that she is serving and on Jesus Christ, whom she's sharing with them. Melissa comes to us today standing on the faith of others, her family and mother, the Atonement family, and Judy and Carol and Karen and many others, the pastoral staff, Pastor Gates and Pastor Rogers and others who shared their faith with her. And it is a great joy as a faith community to stand here with her today as she receives this award. One of the central things in Melissa's discipleship is her willingness to say "I do" to sponsor people at their baptism. And I think of the words that as she stood there at their baptism, when she was asked those questions, will you live with them among God's faithful people, bring them to the Word of God and Holy Supper, teach them the Lord's Prayer, the Creed, and the Commandments, and place in their hands the Holy Scriptures. Nurture them in faith and prayer so that they may learn to trust God and proclaim Christ through word and deed, care for others and the world God made. And when she said "I do," she truly meant "I do." She made this promise to sponsor 9 of the people in the community, and even many others not as an official sponsor. They were not blood related, and these children came to the church through many different programs, and she connected with them then. Melissa lives 5 minutes from Atonement Church on the south side of Syracuse, and yet it takes her over an hour every Sunday to get to church because she goes around the entire city to make sure that these young people are at church. And I knew it was something special when we had recently, when Melissa was going to be away for a little bit, one of these children that she served, who's now a young adult, was searching for someone to make sure would take her to church. She had a passion to be there and to make sure that she was with her faith community. And many of the children who Melissa served came from families who didn't have a lot of resources. And so she was the vehicle to get them around to different events that they needed to go. And Melissa is rich in many ways, but not financially, and yet she sacrificed time and time again to make sure that these children had, even if that meant that she didn't. She sat at hospitals with them, tended to their wounds, volunteered with youth groups, confirmation camp, accompanied them to Lake Chautauqua Lutheran Camp. She led the 4-5-6 Club for middle schoolers, led the Atonement LYO, hiked, sled, skated, pumpkin carved, painted, grilled, took wrong turns at crop walks, used a lot of glitter and ribbon. She burned marshmallows, laughed, cried, and prayed a lot, always walking with these children to make sure that she knew that they had Christ in their life. She kept that commitment to help them grow in faith and connect the faith life to their own lives outside of church. And she didn't contain her commitments to discipling just young people. She helped others discover through the women of the ELCA their faith, encouraging many to attend the grown-up retreats, which she said were not as fun, but people could grow in their faith. And Melissa is currently serving on the Synodical Women of the ELCA board. Her boundless faith is what keeps her going, and she's still insistent on brainstorming ideas to help others grow in faith, an unbelievable ability to take the most challenging moments and recognize that that's the Spirit's work in our lives. She's a dynamo in our community, and it is with great joy that we present Melissa Wilber this Discipleship Award, because she has brought Christ to so many others.
I would like to thank Bishop Jurgi, the Synod staff, and the committees for recognizing my talents. I thank God for giving me the talent to love children and use it every day in work and play. I would like to thank my mom for bringing me to church, starting as a kicking and screaming 3-year-old who just wanted to stay home and watch Sesame Street on TV. She set an example for my sisters and I by working with the youth program before my sister was involved, and she continued to work with the youth group and Sunday school well after we all aged out. I would like to thank my Atonement family for giving me a lifetime of support. They have nurtured and supported me since my baptism as an infant and continue to do so to this day. I appreciate Pastor Gates, Pastor John, and Pastor Rogers because they supported and gave me lots of advice. I attend worship faithfully, and when I don't make a Sunday, you can tell. I'm miserable for the rest of the week. I pray every day for patience to guide my godchildren in the right direction. Even when I was told by one of my teenage godchildren that I didn't know signing up as Missy's godchild was a lifetime commitment, who knew? I look forward to continuing God's work with my hands, heart, and soul. Thank you again.